Let's go back to developments in Nepal. A strict curfew is back in place in the capital, Kathmandu, after a brief 2-hour pause. The country remains under nationwide restrictions following days of deadly protest led by Gen Z demonstrators. On Monday, police opened fire on crowds. By Tuesday, protesters had touched government buildings, and the violence ultimately forced the government to collapse. The death toll now stands at 25, with more than 600 injured. Authorities say around 13,000 prisoners were released from jails across all 77 districts during the chaos. The army is now patrolling Kathmandu, ordering residents to remain indoors. For this conversation, we have a global policy analyst, Alexander Von Rugen. Thank you, Alex, for being here. The Gen Z movement had on Wednesday said that the protest was hijacked by some persons, hence the degeneration to violence. From your assessment of the protest, would you agree with this?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think it was hijacked. I think the Gen Zers amassed themselves out of frustration because of actions taken by the government. The government actions themselves were a catalyst to what happened. They had shut down all internet platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. And one has to understand the mentality of the Gen Zers to see what kind of effect that has. This is a generation that grew up not knowing what the world was like without an internet. This is the mechanism by how they communicate, they socialize, they learn. And you take that away from them, it's like taking drugs away from a drug addict. You're going to get a response.
How do the curfews and violent clashes between security forces and protesters affect the daily lives and livelihoods of ordinary citizens in the capital?
Complete paralysis. You've got martial law. The streets are being patrolled. There's a curfew. People are afraid to go out for fear of getting caught up in a violent confrontation. From what I've seen on the broadcast, the police and the military have used excessive force to contain the demonstrations, and in turn, the demonstrations have become more volatile and more aggressive. So it's a feeding frenzy of violence. Now the Prime Minister has resigned. That's a positive move as far as the Gen Zers go. And the leading or the governing general at this point has had a meeting today with a group of Gen Zers, and they're trying to negotiate what the demands are, and to settle things down. They did reinstate. They lifted the curfew for about 2 hours today, and then they reinstated it again.
Okay, we know that the Kathmandu mayor, 35-year-old rapper-turned engineer, has asked the young people to hold off until they wait for the formation of an interim government. And we also know that representatives of the protesters met with military officials to discuss a transitional leader, and a name is being pushed out there, a popular former Chief Justice, Sushila Karki. What can you tell us about this person and his the possibility of him helping to de-escalate, or what would be the processes for a transitional government to come in place? Because as it stands now, it looks like there is no government.
Well, that was part of the demands, to dissolve Parliament, put in an interim government, eliminate corruption, and amend the Constitution. Those are the three demands Gen Zers are seeking. The choice for Sushila Karki is a wise one because she's the former head Chief Justice. She's 73 years old. To the Gen Zers, she's like a grandmother with the voice of reason. Unfortunately, there's a conflict there because the current Constitution does not allow retired justices to hold political positions. So it is a little dilemma in the existing Constitution. Mr. Shah, who's the current mayor of Kathmandu, he's 35 years old, as you indicated, a former rapper. He's got a better connection to the Gen Z generation, which are, 12 years younger than he is. But notwithstanding, he seems to have suppressed the emotional state right now a little bit, at least with their representatives. The interim government will hopefully lead to less corruption, and the transition will be hopefully harmonious.
I guess we'll see what happens in the coming days. Thank you very much, Alexander, for obliging us tonight.
My pleasure as always. Thank you.